Hey, this is Soldier7 here reporting for Right Wing Federation, and this video is going to be about elections in North Korea, which is weird. And the reason why I bring this up is because I know that this isn't anything new, but recently, as usual before, there was an election of some sort in North Korea. And apparently Kim Jong-un, from what I understand, won at least 99.9% of the vote. Some people are even saying it was 99.93%. I don't know what that is. Or at least I've never seen that kind of percentage before in an election. But the question is when you have these elections in North Korea, how many people do you think really believe it? And even if it's true, like, do you really think that Kim Jong-un is really that popular behind closed doors? Even if, let's say, he's popular enough to actually win an election, like a legit election, which is what I wanted to ask, because I don't think it's legit, and I know a lot of people know it's not legit, and some people may think it's ridiculous for me making this video because they know it's not legit. Like, some people may say, like, Soldrift, like, this is crazy, why are you making a video about this? Everybody knows it's all bullshit. Everybody knows those elections that they have are not legit. And I know, but I just felt like I can't help but talking about it because I noticed that there was one recently, and I've seen people make videos about it before. Now apparently it always ends up in the same way. I mean, Kim Jong-un wins 99.9% or whatever of the vote, but the question is like, how does that vote go about? Like, shouldn't it be 100%? I don't know, because are they trying to make it to look like, oh, he doesn't get 100% of the vote because there are some people who don't agree with him. It's just not the majority. I don't know. Now, if there was an actual election in North Korea, do you really think Kim Jong-un or anyone in the Kim dynasty or anyone, like whoever they put up that's part of the Korean Workers' Party, the running Communist Party that runs North Korea, do you think they would really get that much in an election? I don't know. And I know there's a lot of brainwashing and indoctrination that goes on in North Korea. I think we all know that. But do you think that really, like, deep down, every single person in North Korea believes that? I think we can all agree, at least most people I think would agree that no, that's not true, because if that's true, why do so many people defect? I don't know, just a weird subject. I felt like talking about it because it is strange. Like, even the 99.9%, okay, but what about that 1% that didn't vote for him? Did they, like, vote for someone else, or were they just left out? And like I said, is it just a possibility, like they're just trying to make people think, oh yeah, we have free elections, it's just that this 1% just didn't like the dear leader, or the great leader, whatever, supreme leader. Yeah, kind of a weird question. I'm pretty sure this video is pointless, but I just can't help but to bring it up. Now, in reality, if Kim Jong-un were to really have an election and he were to win, do you think he would get 99.9% of it in a free election? Which we know they don't have in North Korea. Whatever it is they like to call it, we know it's not a free election. It's a fixed election, like almost any other country that's communism. Like pretty much almost every other communist nation that had an elections were pretty much fixed. So, I mean, where is this going here? I don't know. I know this just may be a silly subject to talk about, and I know there are other things I could be talking about, but I'll probably get to them later. and you'll know what they are. But yeah, but just in reality, if there was a free election in North Korea, and let's say there was a person who came up and said, you know what, North Korea has been trying this communism shit for literally for 60 fucking years, if not longer, 70 years or so, if not longer. Yeah, well, I mean, the two countries were both formed in 1948, if I'm not mistaken, both North and South Korea. And I know South Korea has its flaws when it comes to elections and so forth, and political corruption and so forth. I totally get it, but I would assume that their elections are a little more free, if not a lot more free than at least compared to North Korea. Even if, yeah, some of the elections in South Korea intend to be a little suspicious. Like especially the one that occurred in 2025, where the one who got the presidential election was accused of being a puppet for Pyongyang and Beijing and Moscow. Maybe so, I don't know, but not to get off topic, but just saying, if someone were to come up and say, if they agreed to have a free election and someone were to come up and say, to run against Kim Jong-un and say, look, this whole communism stuff's not going to work, we need to try more freedom, we need to try capitalism and freedom and all that stuff. And let's say the election was free in North Korea. Do you really think Kim Jong-un would get 99.9% of the vote? Even if he won the election, do you think he would really get that much? I don't think so. Now, granted, so we all know that this election is BS. It's bullshit. It's a fucking lie. And I get it, you're going to have some people that are going to believe it, like there's going to be those communists and those tankies and so forth that say, see, here they have free elections in North Korea. Yeah, well, whatever. I think the majority of the people around the globe are not buying it. So, I don't know. I mean, I know this is a goofy subject to talk about because, like I said, I'm not trying to go on a rant here or anything. I didn't mean to keep the video this long, but I'm just going to go ahead and finish my thought, which could be a few minutes, who knows. But I just wanted to say that if there really was a free election in North Korea, and let's say Kim Jong-un really did win the election, how much do you think he would really win it by if it was a free and fair election? Like it wasn't fixed in any way, like certain elections around the globe are, even certain elections in the United States. But for some reason, I'll get in trouble for saying that. Why? I don't know. You're allowed to question elections, even in a free country. But it's like, I guess in North Korea, it's like, okay, he wins all the time, 99.9%, without question. Don't question it. Probably not. I guess you can't. I guess you're not allowed. And on top of that, that so-called 99, well, I mean, was there a 1%? Did they vote for someone else, or did they just, stay home, or whatever that seat was, or whatever that vote was, that didn't get the 100%. But I also think it's important that, yeah, this is what communism does. Communism always leads to dictatorship, and usually when they agree to elections, it seems like this is kind of how it's done. Not just in North Korea, but in Cuba and elsewhere when they seem to have elections. Like, the only time they ever seem to have free and fair elections is when the people had enough, as kind of like what we saw in parts of Eastern Europe in 1989. Which maybe hopefully we'll see one day in North Korea, and hopefully we'll see it in Cuba and elsewhere. That's communism. Vietnam and China, obviously. But yeah, because at the end of the day, I have a hard time believing, because you have some people that will defend this and say, North Korea has free and fair elections, just look at it. They all like the dear leader or supreme leader, whatever it is, whatever. They all like the leader, apparently. Yeah, I have a hard time believing that, because given that there's so many defections from North Korea, especially when you compare North Korea to South Korea, like, for every, like, one person in South Korea that defects to North Korea, the other way around, there's probably like 10, if not 20, people from North Korea that will defect to South Korea. So, yeah. I know this is goofy. This is a goofy topic. I know. Because most people know that, yeah, these elections in North Korea are not legit, and we all know that the Kim Jong-un is always going to win, and whoever the successor is after him going to be the same thing if North Korea continues to be communism. And yeah, sure, you'll probably have some people that will defend it and say it's a free and fair election, or they'll try to justify, well, they have to fix it in some way because they're afraid of this and that. They're worried about this and that, corruption and this and that. Yeah, as if communism doesn't have corruption in the government whatsoever. I mean, political corruption exists everywhere, but that's also one thing communism is well known for. Not just political dictatorship, but political corruption. Yeah, political corruption can exist almost anywhere. But I think we all know that, yeah, when it comes to communism, yeah, you just like lay it down the line and look at it. Just lay down the bag of snakes, just empty the bag of snakes, and sort them out, and yeah, you'll see, well, it's just a saying, it's a slang. Yeah, you can see that the elections in North Korea are pretty much not legit, or any other communist country, unless they're really pressured. Like I said, what we saw with some of the elections that took place in Eastern Europe in 1989. But yeah, you'll have some people that will defend this and say, it's legit. It's a free country in North Korea. The people like Kim Jong-un, people like the Kim dynasty, people like the ruling Communist Party that runs North Korea. Yeah, well, I'm sure some people do, but given the amount of defections that we see from North Korea, it's pretty clear that communism is really not that popular in North Korea. I'm not saying the majority of people probably do like it. Yeah, of course they do, because North Korea puts a lot of effort into indoctrination and misinformation and isolation, as we all know, because a lot of the underground movements in North Korea have to get their info from the outside, like underground, secret, or whatnot. Because there are underground movements in North Korea that sneaks in, like movies and music and whatever. So I guarantee you, even the ones that don't see that, I'm pretty sure there are plenty of people in North Korea who look at Kim Jong-un and the people before him, like Kim Jong-il and Kim Il-sung, and yes, even his sister, who some people may say may take over North Korea after Kim Jong-un. I think it's pretty clear, given the amount of defections, there's a lot of people in North Korea that hate their damn guts. Is it the majority? I don't know. I can't say. But, yeah. I mean, I'm a little lost for words. I don't know what I was going to say. I know I just said I was going to finish my thought, but I feel like I got to continue to keep saying something. I know this is a goofy subject. It's probably not worth talking about. I'm sorry if I'm wasting some of your time, but I don't know. And like I said, I see this stuff all the time. Like, it was a few years ago they had the same thing with North Korea, and a few years before that, or so forth. Or at least when I looked at it, I don't know if this is a once a year everything. Forgive me for my ignorance, because I do study and do a lot of research on North Korea throughout the years for a very long time, pretty much since 2007. when I became more interested, or 2006 maybe, I don't know. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is yeah, do you really think these elections are legit? I'm pretty sure most of you are saying what I'm saying. The answer is no. Some of you may even think that it's crazy for me to even make a video about this and keep it going this long. Well, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to finish my thought here. Don't know how I want to end this. Well, all I can just say is, if there are political parties that are allowed to be formed in North Korea, and they're allowed to give speeches that not just the people in North Korea can see, but it's seen live, and they give their debates or their opinions on what they would do if they're elected, then maybe I'll start believing it. But even then, there's no guarantee that it'll occur, because the election could still be fixed. Almost kind of like we see in Nicaragua, where, for all we know, those people could just end up the same way, be exiled or detained, which a lot of, for example, Nicaragua is run by Daniel Ortega and the Sandinistas pretty much, and they pretty much jail or exile their opponents. So it wouldn't surprise me if North Korea would do the same thing, even if they ever agreed to have a free and fair election, an election that wasn't fixed. But yeah, I think the thing that really got to me in this video was that 99.9%, wasn't it supposed to be 100%? Like, what happened to that 1%? I don't know. Anybody has any idea what that 1% could be? Go to? Please do tell. And why do you think, if by any chance someone did vote 1% not for Kim Jong-un, what do you think it was? If that was really legit? But yeah, I know this video is kind of going on too long, longer than I expected. But yeah, elections in North Korea. Yeah, I find bullshit. I think the majority of the people knows that it's a fucking lie. It's just a fucking show. It's all a fucking act. You know, it's all an act. That's all it is. I know, I made this video too long, but yeah, anybody that has any opinions about elections in North Korea, yeah, please do tell, and yeah, feel free to say whatever. The comments are open, and yeah, that's all I'm going to say for right now. This is Soldier 7. Thanks for listening.